Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Carly Bell, and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today, believe it or not, is our last class on the Kimberbell Candy Corn Quilt Shop featured quilt that we've been working on now for 2 months. It's beautiful. It's done. It's hanging up here on my pegboard. But today we're going to put the finishing touches on this quilt, which include the embellishments. And so if you're not familiar, all Kimberbell, really every Kimberbell project, whether it's a bench pillow or a quilt, they offer something called an embellishment kit for each one of their projects. And this really elevates this from being just a machine embroidered quilt to having like 3D effects and buttons and little super cute elements that make it stand out. So that is what we are working on today. And I can't believe we're done. So I just want to check the chat real quick. Good morning, Brenda and Sherry and Annette. I hope y'all are all having a good morning. If you are tuning in for the first time with this has been a 2-month series. This is actually our 15th tutorial. And you can find all of the information for this sew along on my website, carlybell.com. It should actually be the first link you see underneath this video in the description area. That's going to take you to the home page for the sew along and give you all the info on all the products and supplies that we use to make this, links to where I got things from. And it also has all of the previous tutorials on that page for you. So it's like a great all-in-one place for you to find everything for this sew along. There is also a free download for you, which is like an organizational chart to keep your blocks kind of a reference to look at so you can see everything in one spot that has to do with each one of the blocks on the quilt. So excited to be here. Hi, Quilt Wench. How are you? I can't believe it's the last class. It's amazing. I'm so proud that we got it all done last week because I felt so behind. But I ended up combining the backing and the binding into one tutorial last week that was supposed to be separate, and we ended up needing 2 tutorials for the borders because they took me so long. I don't know how long today is going to take. This has more embellishments, I think, than my Oh So Delightful quilt that we did in the spring. So we're just going to see how it goes. Now for this embellishment project, there is one item that needs to be embroidered first in the hoop and then cut out and added to the quilt. But other than that, everything else is pretty much going to be hand stitching, which I'm not looking forward to and I'm no good at. So if you have any tips or tricks on hand sewing, please let me know in the comments or the live chat that's going on if you're watching live. Yay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The one thing that we need to embroider is called the fabric bolts and back quarter sale. Instead of fat quarter, it's back quarter. I love that. It is, let me show you. Oh, and I have some things to show you as well. While things are stitching, we can talk about my next big project. But it's this little sign right here. It says fabric bolts and back quarter sale, and it's stitched on a piece of faux leather, and we really just need to stitch it and then cut it out, and we are going to tack it to the quilt. When I first looked at this, I thought this was another embroidered like in the hoop piece, but it turns out it's not. This is actually just hand cutting some pieces of faux leather, and we're going to create a little pennant banner using the string that's included in the embellishment kit. So for the sign, and I think this sign goes on the quilt shop. The little sign is right here. We are going to stitch it out in a 5x7 hoop. And the instructions say to use wash away stabilizer, but I think you could literally use any stabilizer because we're going to be trimming it out just like any kind of in the hoop leather project. So the stabilizer is going to be cut. So I'm just using some cutaway because I have it right here and ready to go. But as a warning, they did say use wash away. So if after I stitch this and I regret my choice, you'll blame me, not Kimberbell, because they said wash away, but I really think it doesn't matter. So I got some stabilizer, and we are going to need, let's see, this pretty one. This is what we're going to make our pennant banner out of. And I need white. Did I use? I must have used it and left it in one of my envelopes here. Yep. So it's actually in my Quilt Shop envelope. There is my white faux leather. Okay. So we're going to go to the machine. The design is ready to go. You don't need to do anything in Embrilliance. You can just open the design and send it over there. I think I already, where's my mouse? Opened it on my, no, I didn't open it on my computer. Let me open it so you can see it in Embrilliance. So it's going to be in where all of the other embroidery designs were for the quilt. Sorry, I'm moving things around here on my computer so y'all can see. And let me show you my computer now. Desktop. Okay, you should see my computer. So in the files with all of your other designs for the quilt, you'll see it right here. It says dimensional banner. So I'm going to double click this, and there you go. So this is what it's rather large. It's going to fit your whole 5x7 hoop. And we have a placement line for the faux leather, tack down stitch. We have, I can't tell. Oh, that's some shadowing here. You can do it in a different color if you want. I think I'll probably just do it all in black. And then the writing, and then the orange. So I'm probably going to load black thread and stitch all the way up to here and then change over to orange for this. You could do the outline. Maybe I'll do white because this tack down stitch would probably look better in white because you're going to see this one. That's going to be visible. It kind of serves as your tack down and finishing stitch. So that's the design. You just need to send it straight to your machine, and it's ready to go. So let's go over. I have the machine. I already have the design loaded in the machine. So I just need to open it. Here it is. Set, embroider. Okay, I have white thread loaded, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my placement stitch in white. And then get the black thread ready. Okay, so it's pretty big, and it's probably hard for you to see since I did the placement stitch in white. But all you want to do now is just lay your faux leather right on top of your placement stitch where it covers it all up. Okay, once you have that done, you're going to run the next step. This is your tack down and finishing stitch. And I'm doing it in white. And it's going back now and doing like a bean stitch finish. It started with the running. Okay, so we're going to let that go. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to do the shadow in a dark gray, like the layout says, the color steps say. So let me grab my dark gray. I'll have that ready because that's the next step after the bean stitch outline. Yes, I totally agree with Quilt Wench. One of the things that I love about Kimberbell is the amount of detail that they have in their projects. They're absolutely gorgeous. Good morning, Sonia and Jenny. Hope y'all are doing good. All right, this is almost done. There we go. Now I'm going to switch to gray thread. And it's going to do that shadow on the bottom here and on the top of the banner here. And after this, there are 2 steps done in black. So I'm going to get my black thread ready. Okay. Now we're switching to black. And this will stitch out the little lines, and then we'll also stitch out the lettering in black. Okay, so while that's stitching, let's talk. So I got some, so we are still in the spirit of Halloween. We are, but I don't know if, like, I love Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, but I'm already thinking and looking into Christmas. So if you enjoy Christmas and you like doing cute embroidered projects that could turn into potential gifts for friends and family, I do something every year called the Sip and Stitch Holiday Workshop. This is going to be the 5th year that I'm doing it, and it is a week-long event, and it is held live and not on YouTube. It is on Zoom, so that it's really fun and more interactive. However, everything is recorded so that if you can't attend the live Zoom class, you'll get access to the recordings of all the classes and still be able to contact me and ask questions and anything like that along the way. But this year we are having the workshop the 2nd week in November. So that's November 10th is a Monday, and then it goes through the Friday, November 14th. There's a Zoom class each day of the week at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the classes are approximately 2 hours long, depending on the project. And there is a new project for each day. So with your ticket for the holiday workshop, you get access to all the 5 Zoom classes along with the recordings of those classes, and you get the designs for the projects, the embroidery designs and PDF instructions for them. It does not include the physical supplies to make the projects, but I do give you a supply list with links to anything that you don't already have. But most of the things that I'm trying to make for these 5 projects are going to be things you probably already have in your craft room. So it shouldn't be to where you need to buy anything else, because if you're like me, you got a full hoarding stash of fabric, and that's the main thing you need. And then your basic stabilizers. There's a couple specialty items that I'm going to show you, but I have 4 of the projects test stitched and ready for you to actually see what they are. I have 1 more left I'm working on today, and I will watch social media and check emails if you're on my email newsletter, and you'll see the picture of the last project, which is going to be very cute. But let's go ahead and look. Where is my mouse? There we go. Okay, so here are 4 of the 5 projects. And let's zoom in so you can see a little better. Okay, so project number 1 is a candy cane ornament, and this is an in the hoop project that it stitches the candy cane, and this is maybe one specialty item you might not have, but if you noticed, it's kind of sparkly wherever the red stripes are. That's because there's mylar underneath it. Another fun thing we could do with this project is if you have red metallic thread, that would be really fun to stitch this out. But this is a candy cane in the hoop ornament. You see it has a clean finish on the back. It has the ribbon built in and coming out so that you can hang it on your tree, or you can even hang it as a bag tag for a present. You could personalize it by putting the person's name here, or you can put a family name or a year. Lots of fun things that you can do with this, and it comes in multiple sizes. So this is the smallest one. It fit in a 4x4 hoop, and the larger ones will fit in a 5x7 hoop. So that is the first one. Let me go start my machine so it can do the next bit of stitching on this banner. Okay. So that is candy cane. That's project number 1. Project number 2 is in the hoop coaster. And so this is totally made in the hoop, and it has an envelope backing so that you can turn it right side out when you're done stitching. And it's a picture of hot cocoa mug with marshmallows. Again, this can be personalized if you wanted to add a person's name or a little saying on the mug. I did it in some fun colors. You could do it in more traditional colors if you'd like. This one also fit in a 4x4 hoop, but I'm making a larger one as well that would fit in a 5x7 hoop. So in the hoop coaster. All right. I have a tough tie between these 2 as my favorite. So it's hard to choose between the 2, but I love both of them very much. This is a totally in the hoop zippered bag, and it's all made. This was all made in a 5x7 hoop. It's totally lined on the inside. No sewing machine required whatsoever. All done in the hoop, and it is a gingerbread house. And I made it with a little tab on the side. I was thinking I could even add a cute little snap tab or keychain or something here. I can maybe make a smaller candy cane to put on there. I think would be cute. You could put some tassels, lots of fun stuff you could do. This one was all made in a 5x7 hoop, but I'm also going to have a 6x10 option as well. This uses a number 3 zipper, which is kind of a smaller zipper. This might be another specialty item you might not have in your craft room, is to get a zipper or zipper tape. And then the 6x10 hoop will have a larger zipper option of the number 5 zipper, which the teeth are just a little bit wider. But that is the gingerbread house zippered bag. And then the 4th project, which is running for my favorite, is this oven pot holder, pot pad. There's all kind of things you can call it, but this is what I grabbed stuff out of the oven with. Now, this was a combination of making in the hoop and sewing machine. My goal, this is what I had envisioned, and my goal was to make it where we could piece the blocks together in the hoop on the embroidery machine, similar to how I've done Perfectly Pieced, and we've pieced blocks together on this quilt. We pieced together the flying geese all in the hoop. So I wanted to do something similar to that and then piece the blocks together. However, of course, the design that I envisioned, I could not make it to where we would piece together this block all in one hooping. So it's designed in a way that we will piece together half square triangles like this. This is what we'll make in the hoop. And then we will take those two half square triangles to make a 3.5-inch block. And then we'll piece our blocks together and then add more backing. And then I did the backing to where it folded over in the front to make the binding. So this is the hot pad project. I think the final size of it is like 6.5 by 6.5. And I love this. And it'll do this quilting bit, the stripes here within the colored fabrics. All of that will be done in the hoop for you. So all you need your sewing machine is just to actually physically piece the half square triangles and blocks together and then add your backing and binding. And I did the stitch in the ditch just like we did for this quilt, using the invisible thread on the front. So that's another kind of specialty item. It doesn't have to be used, but it makes it a lot easier, I think, to use that invisible thread. So that's all I have today to tell you about the holiday workshop. I am going to have more information. My goal is to have everything ready for Monday so that you can purchase your ticket Monday and then you'll get instant access to the workshop portal, which will have all the designs, the supply list, the PDF instructions, and then links to the Zoom class. And there's also going to be a private Facebook group for workshop attendees that we can talk and ask questions. And then I'll have a live Q&A session in there as well later on for those that can attend live and watch the recordings and then maybe have some questions. So we'll do that in there as well. So stay tuned. I have a lot of work to do this week. And once I have all of this done, and hopefully like by Monday, everything is ready for this holiday workshop other than having the actual classes, then I will start organizing the sew along for Candy Cane Lane bench pillow. So that's kind of my process right now. So everything is holiday workshop this week. Next week, I'll start figuring out when we're going to do Candy Cane Lane. And hopefully get that done by Christmas. Then I wanted to tell you, one of our friends here for the sew along, I think it was Christine, emailed me. For those of y'all that are interested in Candy Cane Lane bench pillow sew along, the embellishment kit has been one that has been hard to find. And she wanted me to tell y'all she found it on eBay for a decent price, like $35, $38. That should be the most that you pay for this embellishment kit. If you're seeing it for $50 and $60, don't pay that much money. She also is something I was supposed to do, but she lists everything in the embellishment kit is basic things that you may already have in your craft room, or you can easily go buy some at Hobby Lobby. The only specialty item is the buttons. And those buttons are 1/4 inch. That's how big they are. So I still haven't gone to Hobby Lobby myself and looked through their buttons and Christmas things that we could possibly use as a replacement for this embellishment kit. But if you go and look and you find some cute little Christmassy buttons, you want them the size to be, I think, around. No, I think little tiny red circle buttons were 1/4 inch, but the specialty buttons may be anywhere from like a 1/2 inch to an inch. I have to go and look, but more info on Candy Cane Lane coming soon. And I'll have a whole page dedicated on my website, just like we did for this project, with lists of everything for you. And I have to go back and quilt wench, hoarding fabric. No, we have a carefully curated collection. That is what I'm calling it from this point forward. I love it. All right. Yeah, so proud of you, Gloria. She said, thanks for getting her going. She finished Candy Corn Quilt. So darn cute. Now working on Enchanted Winter. Yay! I'm so proud of you, and I'm excited to see your Enchanted Winter. I held off on that one because I have a whole bunch of other ones I want to make first. But it does look like a beautiful quilt. I can't wait to see your pictures of it. Please post it in our Facebook group so we can see. Thank you. Oh, Elsa said she found some cute Christmas buttons at Walmart. Didn't think to look there. Okay, I'm going to go look there too. Thank you, Elsa. All right, so we are almost done sewing this banner. It's working on the final bits of black thread, and then I got to switch it over to orange. Last little dot here. Okay, now a little bit of orange stitching, and then this is done, and I got a couple little jump stitches I'll trim, and then we can cut this whole bit out. Now, while that last bit is stitching, let's talk about the pennants. Okay, so where's my book? In the instructions, the pennant banner, this is going to go right here over this black border block next to the quilt shop. I thought this was something that we were going to stitch because we stitched something very similar to this in the bench pillow this summer. What was it? Main Street Celebration, the one I never finished. But I did make this. This is a little pennant banner. So, but nothing is stitched. What they want you to use is this template to cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these out of this. So get a white sheet of paper and hold it over this spot here. And it's kind of hard to see, but you can draw it with a pencil. And now that is your template. And they have like a little dash line here, and that's where you're going to fold it. So what I was thinking was I can cut this out, hold it over the back of this, and then use my pencil and trace it on here. And then so the lines are on the back, and then we'll cut it, and it should look fine on the front. So let me not use my good scissors. And my lines are not straight, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So here is my template. Another thing you can do is if you have you should have the PDF version of this. You could just go print this page and cut this bit out the bottom. That's another option for you if you can't see, like it's hard to see the paper through it to trace it. All right, now that we have that, well, I'll just do it over. I think just hold it on here and trace it. Like that. So we do that 5 times and cut it out. Okay, so those are done, and we can cut each one of these out. I'm thinking I can do something like this. And then go to each one and do the point. Oh, I just got a thing saying they've lost access to my Facebook account. I don't know. Do we have any people watching from Facebook Live right now? Okay, so I cut that. Now I just got to do strips. Probably could have put them right next to each other, and then I wouldn't have that little bit in between. Okay, so there are 5 little pennants, and I think we just have to fold those in half, and then we need to get the twine for it. So that's done. Let's see. Yeah, that's a great idea. So Becky said she thinks she'll try to use her scan and cut to cut them out. Yeah, you can print out that one page from the instructions, scan it in your scan and cut, and then use that line to then cut them out. That would make it a lot easier. Okay. I have to click something to try and get my Facebook working. Let me do this real quick. In case anyone was watching on Facebook and it went away for them. And y'all can see also the finished banner. And okay, looks like it's back. All right. Yay. Okay. Now I see Crystal and I'm scared I'm gonna say it wrong, and I apologize in advance. Yadija, is that right? I see y'all are on Facebook. And I also see that, did I miss the info on the holiday workshop? So all I did is just show the different projects. All I can tell you right now is my goal is to have it ready for you to purchase your ticket by next Monday, November 3rd. And the actual workshop will start Monday, November 10th. And it's a live Zoom class each day of the week, Monday, November 10th through Friday, November 14th. So, but all of the info on the workshop will be posted next Monday. Fingers crossed, worst case Tuesday. But I'm going to try to have everything ready so that y'all have a week to see it all and get your ticket ahead of time before. But you can wait and purchase your ticket the night before or that morning of the 10th. So you'll have about a week to get in there if you want to attend the live. And if you're just going to watch the replays, then it doesn't matter. You can get it whenever. Okay, so okay, this is the banner that we already stitched out. So with this, we are just going to pop it out of the hoop and trim it. And we have the stitch line kind of as a guide. And so I'm just cutting right outside of that stitch guide. Now, I don't think an SVG file comes with this design, but you could open the design in your scan and cut, use this line as your, I guess what was the placement stitch for this, as your cutting line, and just inflate it a little bit so that it will cut at like this. That's an option for you if you don't want to cut this out as well. Okay, done. All right, so we have those bits cut out. I still got some faux leather that I can use as scrap, so I'm going to save this. Especially, I like this one. This is the same what I used for my candy cane. It's like a very smooth, flat, white faux leather. I like this one a lot. Put that in the scrap pile. And let's get everything else ready before we actually move on to tacking things onto the quilt. So those are ready. Those are ready. And with this, we just fold them in half. And then we cut twine into 2 10-inch pieces and 1 15-inch piece. Tie bows with the 10-inch pieces. And then place the pennants on the 15-inch piece with the twine on the inside of the fold. So we'll lay the twine in here. Place a small amount of glue on each side. And then we will tack the twine onto the quilt hand sewing it. All right. Now we have to do a little bit of machine sewing with the mini quilts that the witches are holding. So let's start getting that together. So in your embellishment kit, you should have some printed fabric that has the 3 mini quilts. I think we got batting. We're going to use that. And then if I go back to my witches envelope that I made for them, I have 3 pieces of fabric, and this is the backing for each one of those mini quilts. So we need to cut these 3 out. Oh, thank you. See, Tracy likes my shirt. Let me show you my shirt. I made this like 2 years ago. Let's see if you could see. I printed it on my, go this way, my white toner printer that I have. It's I got it from Racoma a few years ago, and I love it because previously I did vinyl and I did sublimation, and white toner, it like changes the game on all of it because it prints white. And so I could print like very graphic images that normally would take a lot of layering with vinyl if it included white. And it goes on any shirt. It could go on a cotton shirt, 100% cotton, whereas sublimation, you're limited to polyester. But yeah, I love it. I got all my Halloween shirts to wear this week that I've made in the past. I like being festive. All right, so now I can use my fabric scissors. And I will just cut these. You know what? I'll do better using my rotary blade. Come over here. Do I need to cut it with seam allowance? Let's see. Printed fabric. Cut quilt from fabric panel. Seam allowance is included in the print. Cut exactly on the edge of the printed quilt. Thank you, Kimberbell, for answering my question. It would help if my rotary blade actually worked. I bought some new ones. I have no clue where I put them. So I was looking at this. This is polyester. So I bet you they sublimated these pictures onto this fabric. And then I see little kind of burnt marks on the edges, I bet you they cut them out with a laser. This is why I need a laser. I can cut fabric with it. But this is fun to think about how you can make your own kind of things like this. And that's what sublimation. It's almost like fused in the fibers of the fabric with sublimation. It's really nice. All right, so there's one. Yeah, so Tracy, sorry, blah, blah, is talking about the difference between the different printings. Yes, so sublimation, you need a special printer, a special ink, special paper. It's all, is going to say sublimation on it. And it is the process of going from a solid to a gas. So instead of going from a liquid to a gas, it's a solid to a gas. And that is the even though the ink, I don't know, the ink prints out on the special paper, the sublimation ink. When heat and pressure is applied to that printed paper, the ink then turns into a gas, and then that infuses with the fabric, and it adheres the best to polyester. So it doesn't do so well with cotton. But when I first got my sublimation printer, I went to Joann's and I got like a whole, like any kind of white fabric that had a blend of polyester. It could be, 60% polyester, 40% cotton. It will still transfer, but it will be kind of faded looking. The higher the percentage of polyester, the more vibrant the colors will be. But now they have so many great sublimation blanks that you can get, even like, cups and ornaments, keychains. Everything is like coated with a substance that will allow the ink to infuse to. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you could do with sublimation. So you just need a special printer, special ink, special paper, and a heat press. And then like I have a tumbler press so that I can make tumblers with mine. Okay, we got these done. Okay, now let's go back to the instructions. And it says, place quilt fabric right side up on top of project batting. Okay, I need to cut my batting too. I wonder if I need to make my batting a little smaller. Let me see. Where it will tell us that is in the beginning of the book. They have a whole embellishment section here. Project batting, 3.5 by 3.5. This quilt is 3.5 by 3.5. Yeah, so we're cutting the batting to be the same size as the actual little printout quilt. Okay, back to my instructions page. Okay, that's done. And then this last one. Oops. All right, I see Lily Pop Love, thanks so much for joining us. She has this quilt in her cart. But it just has the SVG files, I think. Would I need anything else for this project? No, if you have the, the whole, it should say machine embroidery files. They used to, I don't know if Kimberbell still does this, but they used to sell like a sewing only version of their quilts that did not include the machine embroidery files and more like the pattern, and maybe that came with SVGs. I'm not sure. But I have a whole page on my website dedicated to making this quilt. If you look at the description box below this video, there should be a link directly to this Sew Along homepage, and that has links to everything that you need to complete this quilt. So check there, Lily Pop, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, I got my 3 quilts. Okay. Now, it says, place quilt fabric right side up on top of project batting using a straight stitch machine quilt as desired. Place back piece right side down on top of the quilt, and then stitch around with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Leave an opening so we can turn it right side out. I think we did this for Main Street celebrations. That's why it's coming back to me now. And then use a needle and thread, close your hole, and then stitch around the borders. And then we'll hand tack these quilts to our big quilt. Okay, so they say machine quilt, so you can just go around here and then maybe do some what would be stitch in the ditch. It's kind of up to you, however you want to do it. So now let's go make my embroidery machine over to being a sewing machine, and we can do that. Okay, yeah, so Lily has the sewing version. Everything, you can look at everything else I have on my homepage for this Sew Along. It'll have the embellishment kit. There's a fabric kit option. I'll show you all the thread colors and then all the tools, but all the video tutorials are going to show you how to embroider each of these blocks in the hoop, and your sewing version will, I guess, have SVG files for each of these, and then you will machine applique the different applique elements on your sewing machine, is what I'm guessing. I haven't done the sewing version before. Okay. Oh, Becky says use glue or stitch witchery to close that open, and I am listening to Becky because I don't want to hand stitch those closed. Let's try to get away with the least amount of hand stitching today. All right, so I got to switch this guy over. So I'm going to go okay, home, and hit sewing. And now my embroidery arm will move out the way. I'm going to use my handy dandy screwdriver and take my embroidery foot off. And I don't need my giant move it foot. Sorry, I gotta look behind my machine. Pushed everything so that I wouldn't knock it off my table, but I hide all my stuff behind my machine. I like it there. It works for me. Okay, I'm gonna put this foot on, and let's see, I could do everything in black thread. So let's put a black bobbin in, even though that really doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see the back of this. But black bobbin, black top thread, go to my quilting stitches, and I'm going to increase my stitch length to 3, and I'm just going to play around with this, and I'm going to go, let's see, I can go straight down the middle here. There's my foot pedal. There we go. Get here and turn, and I'm going to go around the whole thing. Where did I start there? Okay. Okay. Got that. And then if you wanted to go in between some of the blocks, you can. Let's see. Okay. Tried to do a locking stitch there. I don't know how that worked. And do one here. Okay. And I'll do one more here, but really, like, you don't have to do much. This is maybe an extra probably. Ah. Okay. I did one more stitch over. So I just did a couple times here, and I went all the way around. You can kind of see it there. Just to give it more of a quilted look. And for like this one, we can do all the squares. Okay. I'm just going to go back. I went too far. Okay. I was trying to do it all in one go instead of cutting. Okay, so now I have like all those 9 blacks have gone around. Okay. So this one's quilted. And to be honest, I think I'll just go just two lines on this one. And that will be good. Okay, these are now done. And let me just go get the back fabrics, and those will just get added on top and then stitched all the way around. Let me check the comments real quick. All right, Quilt Wrench. I don't think we're having a class on Thursday. I think we're done. So I don't know. My next class, I lost a piece of fabric, will be the holiday workshop, and then we're going to start our next sew along. All right, I have lost one piece of fabric that I need for this project. There it is. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to put this right side down like this. And we're going to sew all the way around and leave an opening. And I know me, I'm going to leave a larger opening so that I could turn this out, because I have horrible luck usually with turning these out. This is bigger. Let's see. I'll stitch on this side and trim this off after. This one too. I must have cut them too big. Yeah. Okay. I should have started in the middle. One more time. There we go. And let me go sew just a little bit here. And let me turn my iron on. Yeah, I see y'all noticing the 3 little quilts. So this one is Boulevard. What is it? Boulevard bench pillow. Yeah. So that is an actual bench pillow that you can buy from Kimberbell. This one is that we just did is like a big 18-inch pillow that you can do. I forget what the name of it is. And then I don't know about this one. I don't know. I'm sure this must be the quilt by number. Is that what they call it? This is like this is a system that you can do. Okay. So oh wait, I want to start in the middle so that I have a spot to turn it out. Okay. One more stitch. There we go. There we go. Okay, that one's done. Okay. So now these are all trimmed. I mean, all stitched, and we can trim them and turn them right side out now. Okay. So let's see. And do I have any? This is when, like, if you have a pair of hemostats, you just got to be careful. Though I have bad luck sometimes with it pulling on my fabric. And making, you know, a mark or even ripping it. So you just got to be careful. Ugh. I hate turning things right side out. I'm no good at it. See, I haven't made much progress. Okay. Oh, I was supposed to trim it. Especially clip the corners. That's the main thing. All right, like. Okay. Okay, it's easier to do with my fingers than the hemostats. And then if you have a turning tool or even just like the eraser end or chopstick, eraser end of a pencil or chopstick, that can help you turn these corners out. Okay, so we have this and we have this hole that we're going to close however you want to do it. I think so. You can even use hot glue. I do have that tape. Where's that tape? This tape doesn't like me very much. I got this tape. I think this is double-sided tape, and I don't think it holds very well, but for this purpose, it's not super important. This tape is like super sticky and gets caught to my nail. Like, I'm not good at working with it. So you can stick it in here and then peel away the paper bit, and the sticky tape, double-sided tape remains, and then just press it. And then when I hit it with the iron, it'll get it even more. Okay, so this one's done. All right, let's trim. All right, this is that, I know it's an 18-inch or maybe a 20-inch pillow. I've seen it on their website. You can go and get this one on the Kimberbell website in the digital downloads area. And I don't think it's very expensive either. I might even have this one. I don't know. sorry, I'm not staying within the camera, whether you can see with the camera. Okay, and we're gonna fold this in. And this tape, I don't know where the actual, here it is. This is it's Singer temporary basting tape. This isn't anything like super, this is much more like permanent, but I'm stuck at working with it, so this will get the job done. This stuff I think like washes away, but it's like not so sticky that you can't sew through it. There we go. That one's done. And now this one. Twilight Boulevard. That's it. I knew it was something else besides Boulevard. Twilight Boulevard. This one's a cute, super cute bench pillow. This might be on my list next year to get. It'll be between this and the Halloween ladder quilt that they came out with. I don't even know how long ago they came out with it, last year before. Okay. Okay, add in my double-sided tape. All right, so now all our little mini quilts are made, and this is something we'll hand tack to the quilt. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing it where you can see. Okay, this one's done, and this one. All right. So let me clean up my mess here. And then I think the next bit is preparing the tulle for the dress forms. I don't know if I need this anymore. I'll put it off to the side. All right. So here, dimensional skirt. On the wire dress form, you put the purple one. On the solid dress form, you put the silver one. This is organza that is found in your embellishment kit. These two pieces and ribbon. This is the twine for the pennants, and I guess ribbon for that. So fold the organza in half with the glitter side out. This is the glitter side. Okay. And just to warn you, this is going to get glitter everywhere. It's going to be stuck to your hands. It's going to be on your table. It's going to be everywhere. Okay. Machine sew a basting stitch with a scant 1/4 inch from the raw edges. So this side, not the folded side, we want to sew. And it says do not back stitch, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull the bobbin thread and create a a ruffle. I've done this before. I actually made a little doll dress once, and that's kind of where this is heading. Okay, I need to do both of these. All right. So let me get my bobbin thread, because we're going to need some length to pull on. There we go. I turn my locking stitch off, and you can also increase the stitch length for this. Okay, and I'm going to pull this out and cut it. This one's done. Okay, that's the glitter. Okay, so we've got that done. Now, hold the bobbin thread on one end and slide the organza to gather. Continue to gather until the organza is the same width as the waist on the dress form. So basically just picking one. Okay, that should be good. All right. There is glitter everywhere. Glitter is going to be contained to this page. Okay. Hold the printed ribbon right side down with the center of the ribbon to the left of the waist of the dress form. Okay, so now we got to actually go to the quilt. Let's see if we could do this with the quilt still being on the wall. I got to take it down now. Okay, so this is the pretty ribbon that comes with the embellishment kit. And let's see, printed ribbon. You need 2 pieces of 12 inches. So let me cut Oops. Perfect. Basically cut it in half. Got two pieces of 12-inch. Now place the printed ribbon right side down with the center of the ribbon to the left of the waist of the dress form, with the organza skirt covering the top of the dress. So they want us to put it like, upside down. Pin it in place, sew the organza dress form to the top edge of the ribbon, and remove the pin. So at what point are we sewing this to the to the thing? I feel like we have to actually sew this, right? Am I crazy? Okay, so they're saying just put that there where it's in the center. And then take this, tack it to the ribbon, and then fold it down. Tack this here. And then pull it around and tie. But I need some tacking happening. I feel like this has to be tacked first. Am I just not reading this correctly? Okay, so when I actually tack it to the ribbon, I'm tacking it to the quilt as well, is what's happening. And then I pull it down. Yeah, so we need to take the quilt off the wall and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and get everything else ready so that once we take the quilt off and start tacking things, everything's ready for it. So you have your two organza skirts sewn and gathered and our ribbon cut. So I think the last thing we need to prepare is the fabric bolts. So let's look at that now. Okay. We need to make 8 bolts. I already have the fabric cut. So the quilt shop had 3 bolts. These are for the quilt shop. And then the fabric shelves had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's those. And your embellishment kit came with, I remember when we opened it, I didn't know what it was for. But these little pieces here, little cardstock pieces with holes punched in them, that is your bolt. And they're plastic. So these are your bolts. Okay, so we got all of that ready. And I feel like I cut one of these wrong. It'll be okay. All right. Fold the fabric, bolt fabric, in half lengthwise the wrong direction. It will now measure 4 by 1 1/4. So this is now 4 by 3 1/2. Okay, so I am folding it this way, right? Wrong sides together. Place folded fabric on top of the fabric bolt and use a needle and thread to sew the fabric to the board using the holes that are punched. So let's get all our things ready. So this one I messed up. This one's 3.5 by 3.5, so this one just won't be as long, but it should still work. Again, it'd probably be more fun to use glue for something for this project as well. I think I might use my more sticky tape because this won't be as hard of a situation. So let's see. So yep, we can do that. Boom, boom, and I can use sticky tape. Oh yeah, we're using tape. As much as I like to sew, I don't like to do it by hand. Okay, I don't want to, I'm going to use old scissors for this because this stuff is so sticky. So you can stick it here and then pull the paper up and then put our bolt, have it stick to the bolt. So and just this spot is not, could use a little more. You see like right how I have it right here? This is now like really stuck to my nail. This is what happens with me with this stuff. I get it stuck to myself. Okay, now it will stay. Need one in here and one here. Yay, fabric bolt without sewing. I like that better. All right, so we have 8 of these to make. So let's just make a couple more. Y'all get the gist of it. And then I can make the rest later. So I think with the first one, I don't need the tape necessarily on the inside. It's the last bit I need it. I think that's right. Let me double check before I put it on there. Get up. There we go. Sometimes you pull this off and it doesn't stick to the fabric. It's saying staying stuck to the paper. That's why I get frustrated with this stuff sometimes. Using my vinyl weed tool helps me just pull the top away. Still being difficult. Okay. There we go. Nope, this tape does not like me. It may be old as well. Why it doesn't like me. There we go. Fabric bolt. All right, so that's tedious. I'll make the rest of those later, but y'all get the gist. If you want to sew it, they have these two holes here where you just go and tack it. Or you could wait and do it at the end here and get through both of them, but I don't see how I'm supposed to see where that hole is with this covered up. So that would not be fun. Or just tack the first one to do, and then when you get here, just go through at the ends here and tack it. That's probably what you would do. All right. That is the fabric bookshelves, and then all that's left is the buttons, and those are going to be hand tacked on. So now let's see how we can start putting some of this together. Let's go ahead and get our banner ready. Let's see, we need 3 pieces of twine. Cut in different lengths. We need 2 10-inch pieces and 1 15-inch piece. Trying not to make a knot in it. Okay. So 10. 10. And then this should be 15. Yep. All right, with the 10-inch pieces, we're just tying a bow. So I'm just gonna make 2 loops and then tie a knot like that. Same with this, kind of get it in the middle, make 2 loops and tie a knot. That's going to be the ends. And then this is where we need to put the string in between and then fold it over and glue. I don't know if this is good enough glue or I need maybe hot glue. Let's see how that works. It should work. Let's see. Okay, so just kind of lay them out and see the, nope, that didn't work. Could do this until that glue dries, if that glue is even strong enough. And I'm just going to see how I like the spacing. I should be able to still, yeah, pull them through. And you can adjust the spacing. That should work. I'm going to do this on my mat. Do it here. Okay. All right, so like I said, you should still be able to slide these when you want to get your spacing right. And there is our little pennant banner. And I could go back and maybe use some hot glue after, but you're going to put these little, tack the bows on at either end of this as well. All right, let's clean up now. Make some, you don't need to clean up. I need to clean up and make some space so that I can actually get this giant quilt off my wall and onto my table. And let me get all of these pieces. What was this? Oh, that was what the twine was on. Okay. Iron is shutting off. Okie dokie. I know. I like they got the pumpkin pin cushions on this one, like they had on Oh So Delightful, but Oh So Delightful embellishment kit actually came with some super cute pins with flower tips to put in here, but you could still use, if you had some cute pins, you can put some in there and have them, you know, where they're poking out. You got the foam in there. So it will take it if you wanted to add some more 3D to there. Okay, so working our way here. This is where the pennant goes. So, and if we look, okay, there's a bow and there's a bow. Wonder if I could glue those. Let's see. Let's look. It goes from this corner to the tip of the roof right here. That's where we're going with this. So we can tack it here and here. And now let me actually get some needle and thread. This needle is so tiny. This one too. But all I have are little tiny needles. What do y'all use? I have this one, but then like this one's way too big. What do y'all recommend for our friends that do have some hand sewing experience? What do y'all recommend for hand sewing? I got these little tiny guy, and then I got this giant one. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Oh, we could hot glue the buttons too. I like that idea. I'm all about the hot glue gun right at this point. So, but the gist of what I want you to know is you're going to put your pennant from here to here, and then take your little bows and put them right on top. So first secure just the line with the little pennants, and then secure your bows. Okay, so that's that bit. And I'm going to wait and do that until I figure out which needle I'm using. All right, next is the quilt shop. And we have this piece to go here. I think it goes like that. Let me double check. Yeah, it's kind of, you can have it slanted if you want. Looks like on here it's got a little bit of purple showing. It covers up the window a little bit, but it's something like that. We could also hot glue that as well. I think I'll be hot gluing a lot of things because I am not good at sewing. And something to keep in mind, this is not going in the wash. I'm not worried about things needing to be like super secure. It's not being used as a blanket. It's not going in the wash. So if however you want to secure this, you can. I am very hardly leaning towards hot glue. So that is there. All right, let's see what's next. We got our 3 witches, and let's see, they are, let's see, the little pumpkin one is this one. I think that one's called the Me Witch. This one's the Boulevard one, and this one is the other pillow. And then once you have those in place, you have all your buttons that came with your embellishment kit. These are the specialty items that I say are sometimes hard to find replacement for. The only one I think would be hard for this one is the little witch hands, but they're not super. They do give a really nice touch. But the witch hands are like, I don't know if they have them like kind of actually going on top the corner a little bit or just like right above it, but they got them holding the quilts. It looks like they're on top of the actual quilt. So like you could put it here and here like that. And then the middle one looks a little different. Let me open up to the page for that witch. I think we'll see it better. Yeah. So the end one has them kind of in the top corner. The middle has one on the side right here and one on the bottom corner. And then, yeah, and this one's definitely like on top. I think right here and right here. So we could sew these to the little quilts before I attach the quilt, the mini quilts to the big quilt. So that's something. I don't think I would mind hand sewing these on there. And then I'll use some green thread so it'll go in between those little holes. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hand sew the little buttons onto the mini quilts first. And then I may just hot glue the quilts in place. All right. So let me put these on the side. Okay. Next, let's talk about the fabric bolts. So going back to the quilt shop, let's see. When you look at the quilt shop when it's done, they have 3 bolts of fabric here, like sitting right in front of the porch. So you can tack these down or you can hot glue them. So, oops, sorry, you can't see there, can you? The fabric bolts will be in front. They'll have 3 of them right here. Okay. And then your other fabric bolts will be on the fabric bookshelf. Over here. Here, there will be 2 at the top. So you have this big green, I think it's supposed to be a jelly roll. So you'll have 2 of them here, and then you'll have 3 of them down here. And you can have them like on, on top of each other or just like, spaced each one. You can kind of arrange them however you want. And again, you can hand tack those or hot glue is going to be the answer for lots of things. All right. So that's it for the fabric bolts at the quilt shop and the fabric bookshelf. Okay, so Elsa's talking about my needles. So she said, of course, the larger needle is going to leave a larger hole. So she recommends using the smaller needle. Thank you, Elsa. Let's see. Right, and me and Becky on the same page here. Ooh, and Elsa's telling me something too. My clips may leave teeth marks on my little Bennett. Let's see. Yeah, it did. It's fine. It's okay. I'll rub them out after. But yeah, my little clips are leaving marks in my thing. Thank you, Elsa. I caught you too late. I caught your comment too late. Becky is all about hot glue and her fabric gluing since this is all a wall hanging and it's not actually going to be used. Yes, I do want to make sure it's going to stay when I fold it and put it away. And then, like, worst case, something falls off, I just glue it back on, right? Okay, let's work on these now because this was confused. The instructions are confusing. I'm going to put this here and I am going to tack this to the back of the ribbon like this. And then I'm going to pull this down So it'll kind of do like the flip and fold, like it will tack here and pull down so you're not seeing your gathered edge. Okay, so tack here, pull down. Then we're going to tack at the bottom here to keep it there. And then we'll pull the ribbon over and tie a knot or a bow, something. So it's going to look something like this. So that's what we're doing with this one and this one. Yeah, you tie a little knot kind of in the corner. So those are there. And then the rest are buttons. And you can refer to your picture here to see like where all your buttons go. We got a pillow here and a little black cat there. So that's going to go on the sofa. And then, oh, we do have some flowers that are meant to look like the ends of the pins to go over here for our pumpkin pin cushion. So you can put those there and they look like they're the ends of the pins. And then we have a big flower to go with our thimble, which I'm gonna have to go lay this out on the floor and do everything because I gotta move it around too much when it's on my table. But we have these thimbles. We're gonna put that button here, like it's the flower coming out the thimbles. And then the rest of the buttons, I don't really know. We got 2 ghosts, 2 black bats. Okay, the 2 black bats go on the top pumpkin pin cushion over here, as those are the pins. Okay, so they did, instead of like what they did Oh So Delightful and they gave us actual pins, they have buttons for these to look like those pretty pins that we did in Oh So Delightful. So the bats will go here. The corn, candy corn flowers will go here, and then the bottom one will be the ghosts. For this pin cushion here will be the ghosts. So that's those 6. I got one more candy corn flower. Where does that go? Oh, they have a candy corn flower in the witch's hat here. So you can put that there. That's cute. And all that I'm missing now is this one little orange button. And it's not popping out at me. Let's see. Oh, it's the doorknob on the quilt shop. So the last little orange button goes there. All right, so that's where all the buttons go. That's where all the embellishments go. I think I am going to warm up my hot glue gun and I'll get started. I think, and I will do some hand tack of the witch's hands, and I'll use my little needle for that and some green thread. So I think that is it. So we've made all of the pieces of embellishments that needed to be put together. Now all it is just actually putting it on the quilt. And like I said, you have a few options if you want to hand tack, if you're good at hand sewing. and that's going to be the most secure way, definitely. And then hot glue. Those are some other options for you as well. But that's it, guys. We're done. I just need to put it on there, which I'm going to do after I eat lunch. So what I will do is I'm going to go put everything on, and I will take a picture of it to show you what it looks like after everything is on there, and it's all pretty. I'm so excited. Let's see. Ooh, this is a good idea. Let's see. Elsa's got some good stuff here. We can use a small safety pin through the back of the quilt to hold the little witch quilts in place. That's a great idea. I think I will definitely use that. Let's see. Yes. Then Marina says, wanted to jump in and tell Carly, thank you for sharing the sale at my girlfriend's quilt shop. So I posted this in the Facebook group, I think on Saturday. I got an email from them saying they were having some kind of Kimberbell Palooza thing when they had all kind of good stuff on sale. But the thing that caught my eye was my tool tote, which is this guy here that holds all my orange pop rulers and my clear blue tiles. This thing is normally like $130. I got it on sale for $99. My girlfriend's quilt shop had it for $50. So I told people, and it looks like Marina got something else on sale. She got the Quilting Through the Seasons. That was on sale. Yay. I'm so glad. I know I saw Quilting Through the Seasons. I saw Cup of Cheer, some of the things like I already have that I plan on doing. So Long's for, they had a really good sale, but it's over. So I'm sorry if you didn't hear about it. And then the way they do it, like they only have so many items. So like it said the tool tote was still in stock when I posted it Saturday morning. But then someone posted in the Facebook group, it was out already. So I think it went quickly. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to help you get a good sale. Let's see. Retha, is the link on your website to order from Kimberbell? Yes. So I don't have an affiliate link, a referral link for my girlfriend's quilt shop, but I do have one for Kimberbell. And if you go to the link directly below this video, that brings you to the Sew Along homepage. Anything from Kimberbell on there is my referral link. So if you go there, click to go to Kimberbell, and then navigate to whatever you want to buy, that would help me out a lot. I appreciate it. Let's see. Becky says, this has been great. Looking forward to making mine sometime next year. Great idea about the safety pins, Elsa. Yes, I agree. All right. And MNAP, don't worry. You can finish this anytime. Her machine is at the doctor, so I hope it gets better. But yeah, that's the great thing about these sew alongs is even if if you can't participate right now when this is live, that's okay. These videos are always going to be there for you, and you can refer back to them when you are ready and have all your things. And that can be next year. Doesn't matter when. It could be 2 years from now. Marina, when do I plan on doing Quilting Through the Seasons? My plan for that is after the new year. I can't tell you when exactly because my course has to come first. We're going to have a new course for Embellishments enthusiast. That's number one priority. Then we'll do Quilting Through the Seasons as soon as I can figure out a schedule where if I can accommodate both of them at the same time. Ooh, and Kimberbell has a coupon right now. I forgot about that. Thanks for sharing, Tracy. It's good through Friday. So today is Tuesday. So we still got some time. And it's Sweet 16. Yeah, they're celebrating their 16th year in business. That's amazing, huh? All right. So that's it for today, guys. I'm going to go eat and then put embellishments actually on the quilt. And I'll take a picture and show you when I'm done. I'll post it on Facebook and Instagram, and then in the Facebook group. If you're not already a member there, come join us because I want you to take pictures of what you're making and show me when you're done because I like to look at all the things too. So up next this is the end of this sew along, but I have my holiday workshop happening. It's actually happening in 2 weeks. Next week is when you'll get all the info and be able to purchase a ticket for it. But we'll be making 5 fun projects on our embroidery machine, a different Zoom class each day of the week, and they'll all be recorded so you can watch the replays whenever you want. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you can join me for that. After that, we're going to start our sew along. Our next sew along is going to be Candy Cane Lane bench pillow from Kimberbell. And as soon as I have it all together, I will make a home page for that sew along so you can see all the supplies, and I'll break down that embellishment kit that is super hard to find and tell you what's in it so that you can go shop, you know, at your craft store or within your craft room. You probably have a lot of things in your stash already. So I'll have all that information coming up. Other than that, let's look at the calendar. Let's see. If you are one of my From Start to Stitch students, that's my online course on how to use an embroidery machine. We are going to have our November live Q&A next Wednesday, November 5th at 10:30 a.m. And then the holiday workshops, November 10th through the 14th. Then if you are a VIP member, we're having our VIP Zoom class November 18th, and we're going to be making some in the hoop coasters. And Sip and Stitch for November, I've changed it a little bit because my youngest daughter is having surgery. So we're going to have our November Sip and Stitch on Thursday, November 20th at 10:30 a.m. That's going to be on YouTube for everyone to watch. And we're making some cute tea light holders, some in the hoop tea light holders that are going to be a really fun project, and it's kind of Christmas related. So that is all my classes for November, and we'll squeeze in some Candy Cane Lane sew along time in there as well, hopefully. At least get started on it. Go over prep work and maybe make a block or two. We'll see. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, and hopefully I see most of y'all for the Sip and Stitch Holiday Workshop, and then I can actually maybe see you in real life, because that's why I love Zoom. Then I don't feel so alone in my room here. I like talking to people. But that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this sew along, and will continue with me for the next one. All right, bye everybody.